Hey everyone, it's Reed. You're watching MOI. Today, I've got an interesting video about some philosophy, and it's leadership in the collapse and total SHTF, world-changing event style. But first, I want to mention some other channels, because like I said, since YouTube's not really recommending all of us out there, got to start mentioning everybody. I'm just going to start mentioning anyone I find interesting. Another one I like is Palmetto Prepared. I've mentioned it before. I'm going to do it again. Links over here, the description. Check it out. He's an auto mechanic type of guy, approaches things level-headed, which I like, and real reasonable, easygoing, talking guy. You can see him in the comments. He leaves real nice, good comments and stuff like that. Go check out his channel. And one more. And actually, he just appeared in the comments, and it's funny, so I was about ready to recommend him soon. It's West Wind Survival. I've liked his channels like that. I need to leave a bunch of comments on his videos because I haven't gotten around to that yet. But, I'm always behind. Too much stuff to do, right? I usually like to leave a lot of comments on people's videos because if you notice, like when you go through your history, you're trying to stuff like that, and it shows you that red bar, oh, you've watched this video? Well, they start going away after a while. Now, if you leave a comment on a video, you can go, oh, yeah, I did watch this. This is why it looks familiar. So that's why usually when I go through a channel and start invading it, I start leaving comments on all of them. So I know which ones I've watched, so I can come back when I get to it and see what's going on. But there's 3 people. If you haven't heard of them, go check them out. I think they would be good other people to look for sources of information. Maybe you'll click with some of them and enjoy it. Now, let's get on to the topic. And a quick slight warning on this one. I'm going to get a little religious on you. I know, terrifying, right? Religion. Well, I am a Christian or follower of Christ, either which way you want to put it. And it's just how part of I am. And I think this is a real important topic. Now we're going to talk about leadership. World has changed. Everything's fallen apart. Leaders. And I think a lot of people get this horrifically and utterly wrong. Real leaders, they lead from the front. Now, if you go in your workplace and all this stuff, you got the boss. The guy, he's the guy in the chair and all that. And his ability to enact and tell people what to do, it's because he pays you. You've got, you get a paycheck from the guy, and that's how his control. Everything revolves around authority. Now, some people can also be bosses and really good leaders, but a lot of times I've noticed that is a very rare crossover. And it's interesting is in your workplace and all that, you'll find these people that everyone goes to and asks them for questions, asks them for help. And they're the guys that'll tell you, oh yeah, you do it like this, or here, let me show you how to do that, or let me explain that stuff. And there's a ton of stuff that goes through these people. Those people are the real leaders. The people that are often promoted to management and added up and stuff like that, not so much. And one of the funny things I have especially noted about working with the government or in the government, stuff like that, is if you are really good, really effective, amazingly good at your job, they will not promote you. They will not push you up because you become a critical component, and they know you're doing the effective work of 2 or 3 people. And if they move you up, they got a serious problem. And if you are really good at it, you ain't moving. It is one of those ugly things. So what happens is you'll find these people that are effective, really good at what they do, doing all this work. And people come to them and say, hey, how do you do this? All this other stuff like that. But they're not the ones that are responsible for these other people. They're not the ones that have to write the reviews, do all this other stuff. Instead, it's some other person that was, really ineffective. They just got moved up because we'll just have them, write reviews, do this other stuff like that. They don't really do the work anymore, so we'll just move them up. It amazes me. It's a lot of times I often think, and my current workplace is if I was in charge, said, hey, Reed, what would you change about this place? I'd fire 2 people immediately. Gone. No way. And the reporting structure and everything else would be completely changed. Just because I hate this kind of crap. I also hate this, it's seniority and stuff like that and things like that. The same thing follows in unions. If anyone else has ever been a part of a union, you can understand what I mean. Is everything revolves around seniority. It doesn't matter how hard you work, what you're putting in, all that stuff. It's seniority, and that's how you get the best, shifts and all this other stuff. Now, world's changed. Everything else. Here's something to think about. All the people we have elected, are they leaders or are they bosses? Is there ability to control us and tell us what to do revolve around we want to follow them? Or is it just because we're supposed to follow them and their position of authority and them the people, to bring men with guns to tell you, you must do this, right? So world's changed, their authority is gone. Now it's a societal norm that you might be willing to listen to them and all that stuff, but how much faith do you have in most of the elected officials to really be able to tell people, organize things, get stuff going to survive world-changing events? I know my answer, pretty much none. No faith, absolutely none. Okay, maybe just a few, but tiny in between. Okay, so you realize this, you realize the world has changed on you, it's like that, and you start setting stuff up, you start organizing your neighborhood, organizing people come together, it's like that. Now, do you want people to tell people, hey, you're on my land, you're on my resources, you gotta listen to me or else? Or do you want people to willingly want to follow you and your ideas? To be the person that they can look forward and say, hey, this guy's got his crap together and I got faith in his plan. I know which side I'm going on. I'm gonna be right there in the front saying, okay, let's get this moving, let's get that moving, let's get this garden going, here's the projections on this, and start getting people, convince them of the good idea and get them to follow along. It's much easier to have people coming with you willingly to do stuff versus, yeah, you got to do this or you're not going to eat, right? People willingly like that. Now, of course, there are going to be times where discipline's needed and stuff like that, but that's a different thing. And we'll get into forms of government on that later. And that's why I think leadership from the front is extremely important and valuable. Now, let's go back to the religious side. I think the best example of someone leading to the absolute front was Jesus. Died for the cause. Doesn't get much more hardcore than that, right? And if you think about it, look at, how many people look at him now and say, wow, look at what he was willing to put on the line to say, this is important. And it's something to really consider. Because the last thing we want is to create a group of monsters out there and people saying, hey, we're the new tyrants of the new world. I am king and you will do what I want. Now that's the qualities that you see in leadership. Leaders are people that encourage people. They think in terms of the unit, the group. They're the ones that will say, hey, let's go get this done. Let me show you how to do it. And really up there with people doing stuff. And when things come apart, they're out there, complaining about, oh crap, everything just came apart. Let's fix this. Let's see what else we can do like that. Bosses are the ones that take all the credit for your hard work. And when things go apart, they're like, oh my gosh, look at this guy. He's not doing this job. He's screwing everything up. Yeah. There's also a lot of people I know at my office that are right in that category that they come out, hey, Reed, everything's horrible, all this stuff like that. We really want to join up. And I'm going to have a hard thought about that because I know these people. They're the kind of people that other people are trying to do this work, get stuff done. And just because they're, quote, getting on this one guy's territory, he runs out with the director or other bosses saying, look at what they're doing. This isn't what I wanted, blah, blah, blah. And they're all talk and tattletaling and all this other crap and not really doing things. It's like a lot of times the other things you see about real leaders, people that really like that, a lot of times they win arguments by getting stuff done. And that's how I get stuff done. When I want to win an argument, I do it. It's interesting, it's like when people are arguing about the best ways like that, I'll work late, get a prototype together and show the proof of concept and say, hey, look, see, this thing will function. We just got to finish it up. And all the people that are all talk, debating, all this other crap, action completely beats them, utterly and completely destroys their arguments faster than anything. Showing real progress, showing stuff, you will win those arguments. So like when your stuff's going wrong, stuff like that, and people start talking, get a team together, go do a prototype, get started on it, and, well, all those people arguing, debating, bitching about shit, they're going to have to move on. So I want you to really start thinking about that. There's a little nice infographic thing, you know, what makes up a boss, what makes up a leader, and stuff like that. I find it pretty funny. I'll throw it up here in a second. You can take a look at it. And a lot of those traits, I'd say, are a real good thing to think about. Because when we're coming together and doing stuff like that, we need to form community. We need to form cohesion, and we want people to work together willingly, not at the end of a gun. We want to form strong, immensely trustworthy groups. And it really is like a really big family. For people that have been in the military, law enforcement, or other high-risk jobs, you know what I mean about these people come together and you end up with groups that are literally family to you. And that's what you really, really want in your groups as you're forming these pieces together. So there's my quick video of the day about leadership, and these bugs are just trying to kill me because I'm like super tasty. I'm like filet mignon to all those mosquitoes. But anyways, I would love to see a lot of comments, discussions, issues we want to talk about on this, and what do all of you guys think about this? Really curious to see what your approach is and what you're thinking about behind this is. Take care, everyone. This is Reed, and my random thoughts out for now.